Second question is first put forward by Charlie Smith, who is the chairman of College Republicans. While many people in the party have spoken about the importance of young voters, few have offered concrete plans on how to work within the RNC to attract young voters back to our party. What specifically would you do to make the Republican Party a more attractive option for voters 18 to 29 years old? And please include any ideas you have for specific programs, policy initiatives, or organizational restructuring you would commit to as an RNC chairman. Ken Blackwell.
Very good question, and let me start off by thanking Charlie for the fine work that he does in leading the College Republican National Committee. We have to bring that committee back into our structure. It is so very important. I was the youngest mayor in Cincinnati's history. I know that what we have to do, and I will borrow from rebuildtheparty.com, we have to implement the 40 under 40 strategy. That means that 40% of our new candidates at the state and local and federal level should be young people under the age of 40. We must grow the party into the future, and the way that we do it is by including young folks at the policy level, the organizational level, and the service level at every level of government.
So,
yes, I think this was a huge problem for us and something that we have to address very specifically. I would, number one, make sure that the young Republicans, college Republicans, and teenage Republicans have a seat at the table, and that we support the programs that are necessary to get these young people involved and make a difference. If you take a look at the votes and how many we lost today, I mean, particularly in high school, I think it was Junior Achievement did a poll and said 70% of the kids in high school today want to be entrepreneurs, want to start their own business. I think the Opportunity Society, the idea that we are a party for free markets and free minds and allow them to actually participate in this economy is a way that we can philosophically address these people. If you take a look at the things somebody like a Newt Gingrich can do and the crowds he draws, these young people care about philosophy, they care about principles, and they care about what matters. And so I would argue that, A, you have to make sure everybody's at the table, B, you have to talk about the philosophies and not be afraid to get these kids involved at the very earliest levels.
Chip.
I think one of the things is when we talk to voters, however old they are, 18 to 29 or even all the way up to 40, which I am, is to make sure that we don't use the words that just drive me crazy, which is "you are the future of this party." And I've told every college Republican and young Republican group I've talked to over the many years, I said, if anybody comes to your group and says, we need you because you're the future of the party, throw them out the door and slam it behind them. They are not the future of the party. They are the heart and soul of this party absolutely today. They are involved in every campaign we run. They are the people that do most of the work. They are the people that provide a lot of the energy. And they are the people that we should hold up in value and to make sure that they know if we're going to be successful as a party. That's the generation that happens. When I got excited about being a Republican, I was in high school. Ronald Reagan was president. And he got me excited not only to be a Republican, but we knew that we were the shining city on the hill. We knew we were that country that could make a difference for the entire world. And that happened when I was in high school. And if we're going to be true leaders of our party, we need to make sure that we inspire all people across all age groups to let them know that we are a great country and we can be and we will be as long as we get everybody included.
Mike Duncan.
Thank you very much. The three things that I would do. The first thing is to make sure that we attract young people with ideas. And that's why I've proposed the Center for Republican Renewal. We've got to take the best ideas from all over the country and translate those into terms that people understand, particularly young people. We have to do that through technology, the second thing. We have to do it on the home pages. We have to do it in the Facebook, with the Twittering, the different technology that young people are using today. The third thing is having role models, having people like Aaron Schock, our 27-year-old congressman from Illinois, as an example of you can do this, and encouraging young people to run. I disagree. I wouldn't put a quota 40 on 40, but I would encourage and support young people at every possible level in government. And finally, one of the things that I've done is to bring an action against the Bipartisan Campaign Finance Reform Act, because that's what's keeping us from funding the college Republicans, young Republicans, Women Federation, and affiliate groups that we did in the past. We've got to strike that law down.
Michael.
I think everything that you've heard here makes sense and it sounds good. The question is, why haven't we done it? And I think it's time that we recognize that the Democrats have had, a strategy in place for a significant amount of time in which they've vested us because they communicate where it matters, and that's in the neighborhoods and in the communities. We're talking about a national footprint. I'm talking about something that's in your backyard. If you want to have a face-to-face with young people, then have a face-to-face with young people. You need to be on the college campuses. You need to help them organize. You need to be in their neighborhoods and in their communities, speaking directly in their language on the issues that are important to them. You cannot look at this from a global perspective. It has to be personal, one-on-one, because that's how they generally communicate. So we can Twitter, we can YouTube all you want to, but unless you're putting in some good FaceTime and you're actually raising up the leadership from the ground up, not just sticking them on the committee and saying, gee, look who we got, like we do with black folks and a whole lot of other folks around here. We actually put them in the game and let them play the game. That's when you'll start to attract folks.
Peyton. Peyton.
Thank you. As a guy who was a member of all those groups, who got pushed around in a Democratic state, unlike Mr. Blackwell, who thinks winning's easy in our state, it's hard. And being a young Republican is not easy. But it comes from what Chip said and some others said, inspiring candidates. What they missed is how we, as a committee, 168 members, recruit candidates. I was inspired as a college graduate by a fellow who walked in the room by the name of Ronald Reagan. It didn't matter that he was 60-some-odd years old. The youth came out everywhere and voted across lines. So did a lot of other people. And it's the value of our candidates, how we recruit them, and how we energize it. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to change the music in the Republican Party. We've got to put the young people on the ground. They're available. But again, it's back to the experiences that this panel has, of whether you've been elected official or whether you've been somebody who has elected them. And it comes from the quality and the value of the people we put on the ground. And that's what we as a committee will concentrate on.
Okay, Twittering was mentioned. If you're Twittering, it's #RNC debate, #RNC debate.